We are ending the week strong. Summer is maybe finally, I don't know, here. I might be getting rained on right now. We'll find out. Matt Verderame joins. Adam Rank joins. Going to have a fun show today as we talk head coach quarterback combos as well. CHGO Bears starts right now. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast on this Friday. You know, we just figured Brett gets to have all the fun with the 120 Club today. I got to get outside. I gotta hold my own end. Carm, you look very concerned about something. Hello.
This is the best moment you've ever had on the show, so I'm very proud of you. It is very mansion-esque. Hoge boat, Friday boat. I find that amazing. Yes, this is I am multitasking, getting out an outstanding tweet. That's what I was concerned about. But seeing you with the American flag after Memorial Day weekend, going into a Cubs Red Friday, 120 Club firing out, this is about as good as we could possibly do. My background is not there yet, but it will be. Don't worry. We got. Thank you to our friends at rate.com for this new house that I'm living in that I can't afford. And, we'll get some photos on the wall at some point.
Well, first of all, I'm not on a boat. I'm just sitting on a deck.
You look like you're on a boat. You look like it was
There's
windy,
a boat behind me.
No, okay.
But I'm not on a boat. I'm just sitting here on a deck.
Oh, that's too bad. You literally were like, when you just got out a second ago, it looked like you were waving. And
rock. Should I rock to it? Welcome in. I am outside. It was just raining a few seconds ago, so hopefully it's not. Someone's playing a cruel prank on me, I think, as I false started on summer once again. Greg is not here today because of the 120 Club. Carman and I will hold down the fort. We got Matt Verderame coming up in an interview we actually recorded with him yesterday. He was out at practice on Wednesday, so we'll get his thoughts on some things. But he also had a piece come out on head coach quarterback combos and where everybody ranks. So we're going to discuss that a little bit here off the top as well. And most importantly, some news. You might have seen our Die Hard sale in the last couple days, over the last 48 hours. It was a flash sale. They've extended that for one more day to take us through the end of the week. It is our start of summer intro offer. You know, I had to make a phone call on this one because it was like start of summer, but it's 53 degrees out. Tomorrow might actually be summer, so it just felt right to have it go one more day. $36. It'll get you in the door for the entire year. That's just a few bucks a month, and you get all of our great content. Scan that QR code, but you also get 20% off all merch, 20% off our events, and that's. I mean, the thing pays for itself. Plus, you get a free T-shirt when you sign up. So, had a lot of new signups the last couple days. In case you missed it, we're extending it for this last day on Friday, so you can get that through midnight. Even if you're listening to this podcast a little bit later on. We'll jump into the show right now. Carm, this is our Taking the Temp segment brought to you by your trusted local experts at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. And we figured we'd take the temp on where Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams rank right now in terms of head coach quarterback duos. This was a piece that our guest coming up here in a few minutes, Matt Verderame, wrote for Sports Illustrated. He was out of practice the other day, as I mentioned. We'll let him explain his rankings, but as we dive into this conversation, I think first glimpse, it's a little low. You're a little bit surprised just because of all the excitement that comes with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams at this point. But on the flip side, Carm, we've never seen Ben Johnson coach a game as a head coach. And Caleb still obviously has a lot to prove too. So he's got, I don't want to give it away till the interview. He's got him ranked in the 20s, this combo in the 20s. And I think it's somewhat justifiable. Honestly, it's just really hard to even rank them at this point because it just feels like an incomplete grade.
Yeah, so I pulled up his list, Hoge, because we don't have to go through the whole thing, but I was just kind of, going through it, looking for the undeniables. And I mean, I think everybody out the top of their head would obviously put Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes one. Some people would think that Reid is the best coach in the game and Mahomes is the best quarterback in the game. Would be pretty unanimous, I would think. He has him ranked both one as the head coach and one as Patrick. So 1 and 1 equals 1. Chiefs at the top of the list. His third-ranked quarterback in this is Lamar Jackson. So he's got Lamar at number 2 along with his fifth-ranked coach, John Harbaugh. I don't think anyone would argue with that. Stop me when you would have an argument. Now, he's got he takes some liberties here. Sean McVay is third as a coach.
Can I just ask some questions to kind of maybe, because I'm just like, let's just stick to the NFC North. Like, where does he have?
Okay.
How about Kevin O'Connell and J.J. McCarthy, another rookie? That seems like a comparable, somewhat comparable situation.
Let's do it this way. Who do you think has got the top ranking in the North?
LaFleur and Love?
He has Campbell and Goff at 11 as the top, okay? LaFleur and Love is 13. He's got LaFleur as the 10th-ranked coach and Love at 14. And then his Vikings – it's an interesting one. Which is a great comparison. He's got him 18th with Kevin O'Connell at 9 and J.J. McCarthy at 28, which is lower than what he's got Caleb. So, so that's how he did it. Now, Kevin O'Connell well more established than Ben, right? So I don't see how you could. I don't see how you could rank Ben. Ben has to be the lowest ranked coach in the division. Dan Campbell's had a ton of success. So has Kevin O'Connell. So has Matt LaFleur. Now, maybe he'll rise on that list, but right now, objectively, there's no way that Ben Johnson is not at the bottom. And then if you look at the quarterbacks in the division right now, I would rank Caleb ahead of JJ. But other than that, I don't see how you can make an argument that he's better than Jared Goff, and you certainly can't make an argument at this point that he's better than Jordan. So I think in the division it's pretty clear cut. Caleb should be third. Unless you want to make a big bet on J.J. McCarthy that I'm not willing to make a bet on. You've been making the same bet on Caleb, and as a rookie doing what he did is J.J. going to throw for 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions? I'd bet against that.
Yeah, I mean, look, doing this on May 30th, like I said, it's a tough thing to do. It's incomplete, even when it comes to J.J. McCarthy, he hasn't played either. He hasn't played either. We've seen Caleb. We haven't seen Ben Johnson coach a game yet, so you kind of have to, that's why it's a comparable situation with Minnesota. I guess the question kind of taking the temp here is how high can the combo rise? Because there's no question that even if you're going to rank them in the 20s now, I can jive with that because it is an incomplete grade. But how high can Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams rise this season, I think is a relevant question.
So if you say this season, if we just limit it to that, to me, that's straight boom or bust. Like, it's possible that Caleb figures out the footwork, the offensive line gels, Luther Burden's a steal, DJ, who I'm hearing has dropped some pounds and is in some incredible shape, has a back to the first year that he had with the Bears when he caught for 1,300 yards. Keenan Allen maybe he rises back up. Rome goes over 1,000. The running back room, which feels like a big question mark. Maybe they add somebody, maybe they don't, and it still is a whole lot better because of the O-line and just a better offense. Period. It could boom, and then the other side of it is Caleb doesn't get it, and Ben has a lot of first-year growing pains, and it busts. To me, the Bears window, it's shout out to Gregory P. Allen Braggs when he did, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, a 4-win season for the Bears or whatever. He had a 15-win season, whatever it was. Like, if you're really looking at the full possibilities, to me, it's a huge wide range for the Bears once again coming up in this year.
Yeah, I guess I just disagree a little bit. I think the floor has been significantly raised here. I think that there's just a level of competency that we'll see with Ben Johnson coming in. taking a team that should have won more than 5 games last year just based on the talent alone. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is a Super Bowl contender. I'm just saying I think even the worst-case scenario is an improvement over last year. I think 4 wins would be crazy. And I think even when it comes to Caleb Williams, and I've been saying this since the beginning, and I'm not wavering on it, I just think his floor is high enough that it's like I think we already saw the floor. Like I think the floor was last year. And you add how could it not be when you consider what he was dealing with? So Ben Johnson alone, this offense should raise that up. And so I think for 1 year, getting into the low teens is realistic in terms of head coach quarterback combos. It might even be higher than that. We'll have to see. All right, we are going to let's hear what Matt Verderame has to say about this because he's the one who wrote the piece to begin with. But before we do that, we'll play this kind of an extended interview with Matt Verderame. We're going to take our first break just a little bit early so we can get to that interview. And but that's all coming up next. So is Adam Rank, like usual, on a Friday. It's a beautiful day. We'll keep things rolling here on CHGO. But first, Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensaries, your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. Place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside is everything you need to elevate your summer, and it's your one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu, over 100 strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. While there's a location in Wrigleyville. So if you're out in the 120 Club right now and watching this show, as you should be, I mean, if this show actually isn't on at Murphy's Bleachers right now, I got beef. I got beef with the whole 120 Club situation. But you can check them out in Wrigleyville, River North, suburbs, Champaign, South Beloit, Sunnyside's everywhere, except above me right now where there's clouds. And if you're a pro, we've got you covered with over 100 strains on the menu. New ones added daily. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day. And for existing users, got another code for you. Use promo code CHGO50, and you'll get 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item. Only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
Oh, hooking it up over there at Sunnyside. Love that. And I love our friends at Empire Today, the flooring experts. The dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day, and they are giving you that home floor advantage, coming right to you to pick out the right flooring for you, the right colors for you, all in your space. You get to look at it with your furniture, your house, your apartment, your condo. Hey, if you got a tent somewhere, they'll come out to the forest and hook you up. That's how detailed and customer friendly they are. Get precise measurements taken, have all your questions answered. Empire Today, you're going to get a clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule that installation as soon as the next day if you want to get it done quick. Schedule yourself a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners, that's you. You get $350 off, a $350 discount when you use the promo code CHGO. These are the first-class floors. You're going to look at your floor every single day and think, oh my God, I can't believe I get to walk on this thing. And yes, you heard that right. $350 discount with the code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. Real quick, Hoge, before we get to the interview here with Verderame, just a quick shout out to our guy Joe Gomez on the Die Hard sale, who I posted it on Facebook, and he's like, I paid full price. You guys are worth it. Joe, you're the man. But don't forget one more time, Die Hard sale one more time today, $36, which comes with a free T-shirt, basically free. And also, I saw you earlier in the chat, my guy Callum Tierney, the expert linesman at Wimbledon, who hooked me up with Wimbledon tickets last year, watching the show today, Hoge. That dude's the man. They got rid of linesmen. What the hell, Wimbledon? That's just messed up.
No.
Yeah, well, computers just killing the world here. Callum was perfect when I was out there last year. Dude didn't miss a call. No computer could do better. Bring him back. Love my guy.
All right, let's get to Matt Verderame again. He was at practice on Wednesday. We caught up with him yesterday to get his thoughts on everything Bears, a little Chiefs connections too. Here he is, Matt Verderame from Sports Illustrated.
It is always our pleasure here to bring in Sports Illustrated's best. Yeah, I said that, Albert Breer, not me, our guest. Used to work with him at Fansided, so I'm a little bit biased. Matt Verderame, NFL guru, NFL expert, who was out at Bears camp this week, hanging out with me and Hoge and Clay Harbor, and it was a great scene out there. Verderame, though, I'm gonna make Bears fans unhappy with you right now, because I was reading your rankings today, and you did a coach QB ranking. And you put the Bears 27 with a caveat in there that they can move up. But, hey, right now in the NFL, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, if I'm ranking them, they're 27. So please tell Bears fans why you have them that low.
Because Ben Johnson's never coached an NFL game as a head coach, and he's never been a head coach at any level. And he might be a Vince Lombardi, but he right now is Ben Johnson with a 0-0 career record. So I kind of have a rule that if you are a rookie – if you are a coach or a quarterback that's a rookie, like you got to start at the back of the line and work your way up. Now, I believe, I'd have to go back and look, but I believe of all the rookie coaches, he's the highest ranked one that I have. But he's got to work his way up. And then with Williams, I'm not one of these guys that thought he stunk as a rookie. I thought he was fine. But how high could you rank him? Like at some point, you've got to look at it and go, okay, well, realistically, how high can I put him? And in the end, I put him at 22. Like, I don't think you can put him wildly higher than that. It's, for an example, I have Tua Tagovailoa at 20, right? Like, and Tua, would I take Williams over Tua long term? Yes, I would. But Tua's helmed a couple of teams that have gone to the playoffs. He's won games. He's put up some numbers. Like, there's just a lot of unknown with the Bears right now. And that's why I think they could move up quickly, but they've got to earn their way up. I'm not just going to put them up there to, then knock them back down.
What were your biggest takeaways walking away from the practice field and getting to see them in person?
I like the way Ben Johnson ran practice. If he didn't like something, he stopped him and made him do it again. And I think that's a small thing, but it's a meaningful thing. I thought the defense was flying around. They looked, no, it's OTAs and there's no pads, but I thought they looked like they were cohesive, on the same page. Dennis Allen running the show. It seemed like his install was going good from what you could see. They appeared not to have a lot of communication breakdowns. Offensively, look, I'm a big Adunze guy. I was a big Adunze guy coming out of college, out of Washington. I think he's going to be really good. I thought he had a good rookie year. I think he could have a terrific sophomore season. The big question with the Bears is going to be, look, are the tackles going to hold up the way you want them to? Because the interior should be really good, right? Like the interior should be good. And then the other question is just, it's an unknown because we didn't see the guy yesterday. You got Loveland coming off the shoulder and Burden dealing with a soft tissue injury. Like, how much those guys factor in the offense? So I think the offense is behind the defense, but that's to be expected when you're missing your top 2 draft picks and you have an entire new scheme that you're trying to fold in with some younger guys.
What's your read on the Bears offensive line? You've obviously covered the NFL, but also a heavy focus on the Chiefs. You were at the Super Bowl last year. I think you told us yesterday that you were hanging out with Joe Thuney after the debacle. This is Hoge talks about Joe Thuney at least 30 minutes every day to whoever will listen. He loves him to the end of the earth. Yep. But they still have this left tackle question. Yesterday it was Ozzie Trapillo, or 2 days ago it was Ozzie Trapillo there. Karan's lurking, and hopefully Braxton gets healthy. How do you look at the Bears O-line?
Listen, I think they did a great job. Jonah Jackson's a nice addition. Drew Dahlman can come in and really play. He was a good center in Atlanta. Joe Thuney is a Hall of Fame caliber player. He is. I watched every snap he played in Kansas City. I could count on one hand how many times that guy got beat in Kansas City. And I mean that. Like, genuinely, in what was he there, 4 years? I can't think of one time he just got blown by when he was playing as a guard. Now, tackle's different. Tackle was more of a challenge. At guard, you just assumed it didn't matter who it was. And that includes when they played Aaron Donald and when they played some of the best tackle, Quinn and Williams. Like, that's fine. That guy's doing nothing. And now they also had Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, but Thuney was a big part of that. My big question, as you point out, is the left tackle. You know what you're getting at Darnell Wright. What are you getting at a left tackle? That is a big overriding question. Obviously, the blind side for Williams is right. Like that is a huge part of this. But last year, that entire offensive line was a massive question mark. This year, you're down really to kind of 1 to 1.5, depending how you're feeling, right? Like I think their offensive line is going to be a lot better, but can it be like top tier? And I think a lot of that depends on the left tackle and how that plays out.
Are you shocked that somebody's actually seen Joe Thuney? Or are you over that now?
So Verderame, Bears fans were like jumping up and down about Joe Thuney, and I believe you, because when we worked together, literally every time I walked by his desk, he was watching. I say this every time, but it's just worth noting that he'd have on like Dolphins Raiders 1978 on it, like at 2 p.m. That's what he's watching. I'm like, this guy's unbelievable. There's nobody better. I believe you when you say you watch it. But all Bears says, I love Joe Thuney. I'm like, oh, come on. You telling me you've been watching left guard play? People just got to take the words of you and others experts in it. And I suppose Hoge is watching too.
He's one of the 5 best guards I've ever watched play football. I mean, I really genuinely feel that way. He is. They basically just plugged him in at left guard and said, all right, done. Never helped him. Never needed to do anything to slide protect. He was just like the guy. Whoever he's blocking, that guy's out of the game. That guy is just not a factor anymore.
Okay, and I'm not trying to share this, and I don't want to interrupt you. But why did the Chiefs move on from there? Explain the rationale.
Yeah. It wasn't an easy decision, but what happened was they paid Humphrey as the number 1 center in the league, which fine, rightfully so. He's fantastic. They're about to pay Trey Smith. We all assume well over $100 million, and probably make him the highest paid guard in the NFL, which is also fine. He's been fantastic. Thuney's in his mid-30s, and the Chiefs could have kept him this year if they wanted to, but felt like we can get a pick, mid-round pick, which for a 30-plus-year-old guard is a pretty good value. Not saying the Bears should have done it. I found the Bears doing a heartbeat, but they felt like they could get the pick. They ended up using it, by the way, in the draft to move around the board. But they basically felt like, let's get something now, and let's get Kingsley Suamataia in that spot, which could, listen, that might work out. That might be a disaster, but he's certainly not going to be Joe Thuney. But they moved off him essentially because they're paying Humphrey and they're about to pay Trey Smith. I mean, they're paying those guys top of the market money. So that's why they did it. If they weren't going to pay Trey Smith, then I'm sure they would have kept Joe Thuney, but Trey Smith is 25 years old. So they said, hey, look, we're going to have 5, 6, 8 more years of Trey Smith instead of 1 more year of Joe Thuney. But I would tell you, look, I'll give you a quick story. I wrote this for Fanside, but I don't know if Carman, you'd have any reason to remember this. When Thuney was at the combine, when he was coming out of college, he's so smart that his camp, his agent actually told them, listen, miss a few questions on the Wonderlic on purpose because you're going to get a perfect score. And there are going to be some teams in the NFL that, as weird as it sounds, we're actually concerned that you're too smart for football, that like you might end up having ambition outside of football and do something beyond the NFL. So don't get a perfect score. Purposely just tank 2 or 3 of the questions. And he did, because the Wonderlic was so easy for him. They knew, having practiced it, like, he's just going to ace this thing, no problem. So he purposely missed a few answers because he's so intelligent that they were worried that NFL teams might think he's too intelligent to play football.
That's amazing. I love that.
That's a great nugget. We'll have to ask about that. That's freaking awesome.
That's what Carm did at Iowa.
Yeah, no, I intentionally. That's why I got it. So I only got a 22 on my ACTs because I didn't want to be. I don't want to overshoot it.
It took 6 years at Hawkeye Nation. Yeah.
5.
Hey, so, but what did you think about the contract you got with the Bears then? Like the extension that they worked out. Yeah,
it's great because the Bears are paying a rookie quarterback. Right? Like, they have the ability. The Bears don't have a ton of massive contracts. Paying Sweat a lot of money, paying Jalen Johnson a lot of money, right? But like, they're not paying, DJ Moore's got a big deal, but you're not paying 8, 9 guys. I mean, the Chiefs are paying Kelsey and Mahomes, and they're paying Smith eventually here very shortly. They're paying Humphrey. They're paying Chris Jones. They have tons of I mean, Amena, who's getting on a per year basis a decent amount of money, although now less. But Bolton's getting real money. They're paying a lot of guys. Butker's the highest paid kicker in the league. Like, they pay a lot of money to these guys. If I'm the Bears, sure, I'll pay it. By the time that contract runs out, Williams is still on a rookie deal. So you have the flexibility in Chicago to give a guy $17 million a year, $18 million, that you can't in Kansas City, that you couldn't on a team like Buffalo or a team like Baltimore. You can't. But in Chicago or a team like Washington, who absorbed Laramie Tunsil's deal, sure, we'll pay you that money, because by the time that contract's done, then we got to start paying some big money to some other guys. But right now, the Bears are in a position where, and Edmonds is another guy, of course, big money, but they can do that. Whereas some of the teams that are paying their quarterbacks $50, $60 million a year comes much harder.
So, we have this kind of funny tradition in Chicago where national writers will come in on like a random Wednesday and walk into a hornet's nest of there's a great story. I'm actually forgetting now which coach it was and what the drama was, but Robert Mays came in just on a random day. And like for some reason, the head coach had to come in the media room and like have a huddle with us about some topic that was going on. And he's just like, what the hell is happening here? So I don't think you showed up the other day to hear Caleb Williams talk, because I don't think we actually even knew that was happening. But I am curious, since you were there and you are aware of the story, what you thought of how Caleb Williams handled that whole thing on Wednesday at Hallis Hall.
Listen, I think it's good that he addressed it. I think it's good he got out in front. I also thought it was good of him to answer the questions that were asked of him. And he didn't just give the whole, I talked about it in the past now. Like, no, that's bull, right? Like, I give him credit for being the adult that he was in that moment and saying, hey, I'm here. I'm going to address this, and then I'm going to answer the questions that you have. Now, I would expect that going forward, he's probably not going to answer any questions on that, and that's fine. He addressed it. He answered everybody's questions to the best of his ability. He talks for about 4 minutes straight at the beginning. I think I recorded. I think it was like 3 minutes and 45 seconds. He rambled a little bit. He repeated himself a few times. That's okay. I'm not going to hold that. Listen, that's fine. He's not a public speaker. He's a quarterback. I thought he handled himself well. I thought he explained it well. Now, look, we all know, guys. We all know the truth of this, okay? If he goes out and he stinks this year, that story's going to follow him. And if he goes out and throws for 4,000 yards for the first time in Bears history and throws 31 touchdowns and they win 10, 11 games, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care. It's not going to matter. He needs to just go out and do his job and play well. I actually thought the most interesting part of his entire presser was talking about body language and how I know it's a big thing with Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson's talking about getting guys on the right page. But, I thought just listening to Ben Johnson, listening to Caleb Williams, and them talking about just the little details, I thought that was really insightful. Yeah, sure. Look, the story out there, it's not what you want if you're the Bears, but you know what? It doesn't matter. In the end, he's on the Bears now. He's not requesting a trade to Minnesota. Like, he's on the Bears. Go win. Go play. You know how many guys got drafted by a team they didn't want to go to? Jim Kelly cried when he got drafted by the Buffalo Bills. That's a real. He cried. He cried when he got drafted by the Buffalo Bills, and he hated the idea of going to Buffalo so much he went to the USFL and played for the Houston Gamblers. Okay, and then he went to Buffalo. He lives now in Buffalo and loves them, and is a revered figure in Buffalo. Go win. Go play well. Nobody will care.
Great way to put it.
They nearly went and worked in Buffalo. They offered me $200 a week to do sports updates. I would have gone. They didn't give me the gig. Ended up in Kansas City, and then it's some tangentially Matt Verderame, kind of, sort of, in a weird way. Hey, I don't want to give anything away what you were working on yesterday, but maybe you could tell us just why you were at Bears camp yesterday. What you're putting together.
No, sure. Look, I think the NFC North is the toughest division in football. And so I'm going to be making my rounds. I'm going to see the Packers and the Vikings. I was scheduled to see the Lions, but a little back surgery getting in the way. A little minor procedure, will be all right. But I'm going to try to get Campbell on the phone instead of just going up there next week. But yeah, basically work on a story about how this is the toughest division in football. Last year, I'm doing this off memory, so forgive me. I think the NFC North won 45 games total last year. That is the most a division has ever won since the divisions were realigned into 14 divisions. No 14 divisions ever won that many games. And I would argue the division's better because I think the Bears are better. I think the Packers are at least as good. I think Minnesota's excellent, and I think Detroit's excellent. So, this division is a division you look at and go, is this the best division in the league? Yeah, I think it is. Is it the best division we've seen in a long time? You could have a division here where the worst team in the division wins 9 games. That's almost impossible. So I think the NFC North is loaded, and I want to talk to some people about it and start working on a piece for the preview.
So you think that J.J. McCarthy's going to hit the ground running?
I do, because of who his coach is. Kevin O'Connell got Sam Darnold to play like an MVP candidate. I mean, I can tell you, and I've spent some time with the Vikings. I've spent a lot of time actually with them. Like, every team's going to tell you they believe in their guy, right? Every single team. But like, you also get some stuff, like sometimes some vibes and some off the record stuff. You're like, all right, they believe in him. Well, I kind of have to believe in him. They love J.J. McCarthy. they genuinely feel like JJ McCarthy is going to be fantastic. And I can tell you, I was at camp last year up in Egan before he got hurt. He was awesome. Like, he was throwing the ball all over the yard. Now, listen, he's essentially a rookie. He's coming in. He's fresh. We'll see. But you look at the talent around that guy. That is a good offensive line with Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson and Jones and a really good, solid, a great front seven. The secondary is a little bit of a question. I think the Vikings are going to be really good. And I think if McCarthy's just good, that team's a contender.
I hated that last 60 seconds. We are banking on him sucking, Verderame, and the Lions falling apart because they don't have they lost their DC, their OC, and they're gonna what the hell they're gonna do? That's
a real question, Carl. I'll spin this on you guys. I mean, what do you guys think of the Packers? Because my opinion of the Packers is they're kind of the wild card in all this. I don't know. Are they better than the Vikings? Are they better than the Lions? I don't think they are. Are they better than the Bears? I don't know. If Williams is good, I think you can make a case the Bears are better than the Packers.
I think you can. I think the Packers are. I think in a weird way we kind of know what the Packers are. I think they're just going to be sort of, they're well enough coached. They're always going to be competitive, but you look at their wide receivers right now, and you're like, eh. I think honestly, I don't mean this. Like, where'd you have Jordan Love in your quarterback rankings?
That is a great question. I'm guessing. I'm going to look it up right now. I'm guessing middle of the pack.
To me, he's good.
I like Love. He ain't exactly.
I had him 14th.
Okay.
I had him 14th.
But that's my point. You have him right in the middle. You have him right in the middle. And I think that's what he is. I don't think he's like this superstar, but he's good. And I what I do start to want, not that we go off on a huge Packers tangent here, but the problem they might have there in Green Bay is they're so used to being really good, or at least like always in the playoffs, that if all of a sudden the Bears are better and they're the fourth team in a really good division and they don't make the playoffs, like the heat starts to rise even more than it already sort of is, because you could sort of feel it bubbling already in Green Bay.
I mean, I think LaFleur is a great coach, and I think that they have talent. But like when I look at the Packers, and look, I think in most divisions they're a playoff team. They might very well be again this year. But when you look at them, who are the superstar players in that team? Who are the guys, if you're an opposing coaching staff, you circle and you're like, we gotta defeat that guy. Who is it? Who's the first team All-Pro in the Packers? Kenny Clark? Maybe Rashawn Gary at some point, although that's been more potential in actual production. But Jair Alexander, if he's finally healthy, but he's seemingly never healthy. I like Jaden Reed, but if he's your number one receiver, you're not like overly terrified, right? Like if you rank the number one receivers in the NFL, where does Jaden Reed come in? 20th? So I think the Packers are good, but I don't think the Packers have the ceiling the other teams do. Like, I have Love ahead of Williams in my quarterback rankings, but I know what Jordan Love is. Williams could go up 15 spots because he's a second-year guy with Ben Johnson. It's just different. The Bears have much more room to grow, where the Packers, to your point, Hoge, I feel like you know what they are. They're probably about a 10-win team. That's probably who they are.
If you want great football content in addition to this show, you should become a subscriber to Matt Verderame's Patreon page. The Matt Verderame Show, baby. You get all the good stuff there. And how often are you doing that, Verderame? How many shows a week you doing?
2 to 3 a week. Each one's an hour.
There you go.
Look at that.
That's your next stop, buddy. The Adam Hoge Show.
Just solo?
Just you and you.
Sounds peaceful.
Right? You'll love it.
You'll like
this guy's the happiest. This guy's the happiest dude on the planet. Verderame, we always appreciate the time, dude. I know you're busy and you're getting back surgery, so thanks for making it. And I know you're going to crush it. And just let yourself go under peacefully. And when you wake up, just think about football.
Don't say it like that.
Just a nice, peaceful. Just take a little nap. You're taking a nap.
It'll be the first time I'm guaranteed in 7 years since I had my oldest daughter that I'll be able to sleep peacefully.
That's a great point.
There you go.
I'm finally get some damn peace and quiet.
Thanks, Matt.
See you, brother.
All right, anytime.
All right. Yeah, let's hope that surgery goes well for Matt. A week from now, right, Carm?
Hello, now I'm here. I thought that it was when we taped that interview with him yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. But it's in a week. Yes, I love Matt Verderame. He's always the dude is the most consistent guy on the planet. So, and he knows his stuff.
All right. Well, we got to take a quick break. We got Adam Rank coming up next. A lot more coming up here on CHGO Bears. But first, Mark.
But first, we got to tell you about the Rate app. This is the game changer, and we are hooking you up with a chance to win free tickets to Cubs White Sox on the South Side in the Rate Suite. But first, let me tell you about the Rate app. You can get pre-approved for a mortgage in minutes. If you need a home equity loan, you want some extra cash or a personal loan, they can do that for you in under 15 days. The Rate app can also help you find the best homeowners and auto insurance, all the good things. And look, you don't want to do any business like that. You just want to feel better. 800 free wellness videos, meditation, breathing, stretching, everything you want to do to get yourself flexible so you can be an elite recreational athlete like I used to be before I partially tore my Achilles because I wasn't using the Rate app. That's on me. But now I've downloaded the Rate app and everything's getting better. And yes, enter Rate CHGO Summertime Sweepstakes. This is what you do. You go to allchgo.com/rate, allchgo.com/rate, get yourself signed up, and you're going to get 2 Rate Club tickets. This is the suite right behind home plate, and it is all you can eat, and it is all you can drink, and it's Saturday, July 26th. And when you sign up, they'll have you download the app, and then you're in, and you're living the dream, and your life just got better. And we appreciate our friends at rate.com.
All right. And here in Fox Lake, where I am, you can check out Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Your chance to score a great deal during the Employee Pricing Plus sales event. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram vehicles. Right now, get a lease on a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE for only $245 a month for 24 months. Plus, you can shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. They have a friendly team of brand experts. The team at Ray CDJR always there to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. And they have prioritized affordability so you know you're never overpaying. And they give you the raised price promise so you can shop confidently with no add-ons or hidden fees ever. The price you see, the prices we tell you on the show, that's the price you pay. So don't miss out on the Employee Pricing Plus sales event for huge savings on the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Drive what I drive. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. As we keep things rolling here on a busy Friday on the CHGO Bears Podcast. Always love having Matt Verderame on. And now we bring in Adam Rank, our buddy, our pal, to the show.
What's going on? Rank? Oh, not too much. Just a fun little day here. And, you would think, the middle of the day or the week after, the couple of days after Memorial Day would be a lull time in the NFL, but I'm rocking here at CHGO. I'm going to go down and do some stuff with Jim Rome. And then I'm going to go out and is my level too big? Is that the big? And then what else? Oh, I got like the Savannah Bananas tonight and the Insider. So it's a big day for me.
Wait, you're going to see the Savannah Bananas?
Yeah.
Have you ever bananaed before?
No.
It's going to be a big night for you.
Where are they playing?
Oh, no.
Which stadium are they selling out tonight that I'm just incredibly impressed with?
Angel Stadium.
Okay.
What made you want a banana? Let's go deep into the rank activity profile.
I was told by the kid's mother that we were going to see the Savannah Bananas.
That's how that works, right?
Yeah. You seem thrilled
I'm still holding out hope I'm going to get out of it somehow.
Rank, I'm nothing if not observant. And right before you came on with us, you had your glasses on and you were reading something. Was that your financial profile or were you reading Caleb Williams' breakdown? You looked very serious right before. Something serious was going on right there. Were you reading about why Michael Jordan
He was reading the Caleb Williams book, Carm.
Something was going on that seemed serious. Or maybe that's just your look when you're reading.
I'll tell you what I was serious. I was looking right now. We've got the sand tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks. And I don't have any. My players aren't listed, and it's kind of a problem. So I'm like,
sand tournament.
Yeah, we have a tournament that's going to be on the sand, and it's going to be pretty fun. But I looked. I'm glad I'm looking at the last minute now. It's next weekend, so I'm just looking.
What sport?
Football. Oh, I'm sorry. Soccer. Hold
Soccer
on.
on
Americans. Wait, hold on. I'm with them. I'm on with Americans right now. It's Fahrenheit,
Yes.
soccer, and yards. Okay, good. Now I'm sorted.
Okay. The life of Rank. Fridays with Rank. I mean, sometimes you just, you want to get to know everybody on CHGO.
I do. Listen, I like the peak around the this time of year. I mean, like, how many times do we want to sit here and talk about Caleb Williams? We can get mad about Jordan and Magic. It's not even a LeBron thing, which is hilarious to me. And then in addition to that, you guys had Jeremy Piven on. Yeah. And so I thought, I didn't want to do it without Greg here. And I'm curious as to what Greg's take, because like I'm like, what are the, like, I think Jeremy Piven's great and I love him in so many different things. Gross Point Blank. If I was ranking him, like PCU is one of my, it's got to be my favorite role of Jeremy Piven of all time. I could see Braggs not liking that movie. And he's gonna go for some other random thing. He's gonna go like, Lucas was his best movie or whatever it is. I don't know. It would be shocking because although we shouldn't be shocked by Braggs at this point.
Yeah, but my favorite underrated role that I kind of wanted to slip into the interview yesterday that the opening never opened up is Cheese in Old School. The Dean.
Yes. Yeah, honestly, like playing the jerk like that. I mean, he obviously gets into this thing where he's everybody's friend in PCU. Then he becomes Ari Gold. But then, he works in Cheese. So there's a wide range to Jeremy Piven. I do want to add, like, and I'm sort of on the fence because a lot of stand-up comics that I know get very upset that Jeremy Piven is out there hogging, like, he gets stage time. And has he earned it at this point? I'm like, I don't know. Like, if people are going specifically to see Jeremy Piven, and I think people do, then you get stage time. Like, I'm sorry, like some of the funniest people in the world who I see a lot nobody comes to see him. So it's an unfair business, but I would like to know a little bit more. I would have gotten into a little bit of that with him too, because I'm sort of I see both sides of it. Like, I get it. Like he would hate it if but like he had Craig Kilborn on Old School, who absolutely didn't deserve that role, but because he was Craig Kilborn, he's on. So like people invaded his world too. So I don't know. I would have liked to have gotten his take on that.
I hear what you're saying, by the way, because a lot of people that are just like myself, right? That tonight I'm going to see Nikki Glaser up in Milwaukee because I've seen her a million clips.
I was going to ask if you've seen her.
Yeah, so I haven't seen her show, so she might not be. I've seen her make fun of Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, and I think that's hysterical. And I've seen.
You've never seen her in person?
I have not. No.
You're gonna love it.
Okay.
She's really good. Yeah, she's actually. I think she's funnier when you see her in a comedy room, and you're sitting there and you're loaded up. However you get down.
Yeah, that'll be the case.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, and you're gonna have a good time. She's amazing. She is one of the funniest people that I've ever seen.
But Carm, if you want to rise to Braggs' level, you might want to get her on the show on Monday.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do my best on that. I mean, she's just her shows in Chicago are Sunday and Monday. I live in the burbs here, so I'm not even the burbs. I basically live in Wisconsin, so it's easier almost to go up to Milwaukee. But in Chicago, she's Sunday and or Saturday.
She has a Monday night show.
Saturday and
in
Sunday.
Chicago.
Saturday and Sunday. I misspoke. Saturday and Sunday, but still Sunday night, and she's doing 4 shows. 7, 10, 7, 10, or I think 4 and 7 on Sunday.
This would have been the perfect time to get her on to promote that Sunday. We're doing it. She didn't need to be on the show because you're promoting her for free.
Yeah, that's a good point. No more promotion for comics. You have to come on CHGO, especially if you're mad. If you're mad that Jeremy Piven's hogging time on this show, you're welcome to Joe. We've had Bert Kreischer on too, so we'll let any of you guys on here.
I'm a big fan of his joke. That was one of the most, and that's a Nikki Glaser line from the Tom Brady roast. That was one of the most savage, like so simple and so savage that like of all the things that people talked about, and they're going through like all the Aaron Hernandez stuff and everything. When she said that to Bert, I was like, that is the funniest line. And I'm assuming that most people, Joel McHale was in the audience. I'm sure he got it. But like a lot of people just were like, oh, okay. Like we're laughing because it sounds funny, but like literally one of the most savage things you could have said to another comic. And then she ignored Tom Segura altogether. No, that was Tony who ignored Tom Segura.
I loved it from start to finish. And I actually thought Jeremy Piven made a great point on yesterday's show when he was like, people think you can't get away with entourage these days. Did you watch that roast? I mean,
yeah.
And it was on Netflix. Like, so you actually can get away with it. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna move some things around here because we got to sneak one more break in here in the next few minutes, Adam. So we'll do that break right now, and then we'll come back as
all
we
football.
got ranked.
Football.
Yeah, ranks.
All football. Well, number 2 of my list is not football, but
we always got to get Rank's list, and today he's ranking his summer wish list, and we're looking forward to it. So, but first, a lot of talk about tickets. I've seen it today. People want to know what it costs to be courtside at the Knicks game. If this thing goes 7, it's like $500,000. I don't know if it's really $500,000 or not, but the best place to check what the ticket prices are, use the app that I always use. I go to Game Time, super intuitive, easy to use. And since the schedule is out right now for football season, tickets are available. Go to Game Time, check them out right now. I consider it a life hack for unlocking amazing seats and experiences for a great price. And we're just talking about comedy shows. You can get, if you want to go see Nikki Glaser tonight with Carm, go to Game Time. Check out what the prices are, because theater, comedy, sports, they have everything on Game Time. Check it out. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account there on the Game Time app, redeem code CHGO. You get $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, the lowest price guaranteed.
Yeah, all in for Nikki Glaser. They give you this just $22 for 100 level right now in Game Time. So, right by the stage, get to be close to Nikki. That's never a bad thing. All right. Yeah. Shout out to our friends at Game Time, and shout out to our friends at Circa. Man, oh man, do I love our friends at Circa Sportsbook. Whatever the sport you have to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports is betting the way it should be, with the high limits, the low holds, the exceptional customer service. Every team, every game, spreads, props, futures, in-game. Shout out to all our friends at Circa who always treat us incredibly well. Fun and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today, circasports.com. You'd have to be 21 or older. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. There is no friendlier place to get your wagers done other than our friends at Circa Sports.
All right, Adam, let's turn this thing over to you. Adam Rank joining us on CHGO. This entire operation is yours. Your summer wish list starts now.
All right. At number 5, I'm going to say that DeAndre Swift finally stomps out all the haters. Everybody's talking about running back. Why didn't we address the running back position? Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we? And nobody's really giving DeAndre Swift a fair shake. And for me, it seems a little bit unfair because as everybody talks about like how Caleb Williams should be better with a new offensive line, this should be better. But don't you think the running game will be a little bit better with the offensive line? If you go back to the game against the Commanders, I feel like one of the reasons why we were so successful, we're able to rally in that game, was not only I think Caleb made some great plays, but DeAndre Swift actually went in there and took it over. And I think if Ben Johnson is comfortable with DeAndre Swift, I certainly should be as well. And I'll just run through these and then we'll comment on it. Number 4 is going to be that Ruben Hippolyte becomes him. And I think that he's been on both of our shows and a very magnetic personality. And now it's one of the things that's very difficult whenever you're in this business is that you get to know somebody and you're like, I really like this guy. And you're like, I'm rooting for him. And it's not, I'm a little biased. Like I'll be honest. I want him to go out there and succeed. Selfishly, because I think he's a good person and because he's a member of the Chicago Bears. But I really hope, that's my wish, is that he comes out and just is a blaze of glory. And people are like, oh, I remember when the Bears people were dismissing this pick, and ends up being one of the best in the draft. And number 3, though, one of the things I'm assuming we all will be on board with is a set, healthy offensive line that has continuity. The team that starts the first reps of training camp is the team that is there in week 1, and we get to see a full off season of them working together, injury free. Hopefully, we know that's probably going to be an impossible ask, but we go out there, it's settled. We know who it is right there at the end of July through week 18 into the playoffs, the same offensive line with very little tweaks or anything like that. I think that's a very desirable wish for us. And I think the number 2 is probably one that the entire world is rallying around, is that I'm finally going to break 80 on the golf course in a full like 70, 72 par, I've been close a couple of times, and then the last couple of times have not been close. Shot a 93 out in Palm Desert the other day. Wasn't great, but if you were watching me play, you'd be like, hey, you got some good swings right there. Got into a little trouble, a couple of blow up holes, but I had one hole where I hit it into a ravine, and they're like, hey, do you want to hit another? And I said, absolutely not. I'm going down to that ravine. And then I shoot it out again, and it's into another fairway, but it left me with a clean look to the green, took the 58-degree out, knocked it onto the green, 1 putt for the par. One of the greatest pars I've ever had of all time. So I think the world would agree with me. We want to see me break, want to keep me going out there into the 80s. And at number 1, this is what I want, and I'm sure all Bears fans, Caleb Williams has growth and shows everyone what he can do. And here's my thing too, is I don't mind if he makes a mistake. There was a highlight yesterday of Jaquan Brisker off a tip ball, making an interception, running it back. We're like, oh yeah, look, here it is. Caleb already saw. I'm like, you know what? Quarterbacks make mistakes and they make bad throws. And similar to, being on the golf course and having issues, it's overcoming the mistakes. When you get down to that ravine, how do you respond in the moment? Understand that it's going to take, hey, maybe you got to hit into another fairway, but you still have the opportunity to get where you need to go. And I think with Caleb is, listen, he's going to go out there and make some mistakes. I don't want everybody to jump on him for the tiniest little thing at the start of the season. And at the same time, allow him an opportunity to go out there and do what he can do. Because I truly believe that him and Ben Johnson are going to be a great tandem. And we're all going to be excited about this coming season.
Coincidentally, we asked Greg Braggs for his summer wish list, and breaking 80 was 1 through 5 on his list. But I actually believe that you can do it. That's the difference.
The swing is okay. Like the biggest problem I have right now is getting off the tee. My driver's terrible, but I'm sitting here and I pulled out because I cracked a driver earlier a couple of months ago. And so I looked and I'm like, I don't know. I think I might need to switch the shafts out because I'm like, I don't know. Like, is this the shaft? I know. Don't blame the equipment. Never want to be that guy. I'm not striking it well. But when I shot a 93 the other day, actually, I shot I was on a par 31, and I shot a 37 the other day. But in both of those instances, I was hitting like the 4 high iron, the Cleveland high bore off the tee, which is fine. You hit a 205 yards down the center of the fairway, which is great. But all of your approach shots are like 6 iron or higher, So I'm either hitting that club again, trying to reach the green, or a 6 iron. Like there were no wedges into on my second shots, which is kind of a detriment for somebody like me, because that's where I usually make my strokes.
Yep. Well, we just had a comment on the screen. Work on your short game. 150 in. That's how you break 80.
The short game's great. That's why I'm not. That's why it's not a disaster. I've had one 3-putt in my last 3 rounds, and I putt everything out.
Okay.
So a lot of it too is not reaching the green in regulation, which allows me to chip up really close.
Rank, I love you and your golf game, but I love your sentiments for Ruben Hippolyte more. I love rooting for good people, and Ruben Hippolyte reeks as a good human being in a good way. So I love that made your list because, look, the Bears need somebody to step in and help out that linebacking room. Hopefully he'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, that's another thing. I was talking about when I was making the list, and my first thought is like, oh, we need somebody to step up at linebacker. And I'm like, oh, shoot. I'm like, Ruben, of course. Like that's one of the same. Like that's the best part of it is we do need a linebacker to step up. And it's like, and it couldn't be a better person. And I've loved him. I've watched all of his appearances, and I see him, we follow each other now on Instagram, watching his life unfold and, all the challenges that he's facing, going into the NFL. Like, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a pretty big joy. So I can't help but root for him.
That's awesome. Adam Rank, it's the Sick Podcast. Check it out as always. And that's where he's talking about where he had Ruben Hippolyte on. And are you on the Insiders today?
Yeah, I'll be on the Insiders. I'm going to go and sit in with Jim Rome for a little bit later this afternoon. So if anybody still listens, for anybody who listens to Jim Rome, yeah, check it out. I should be on in the second or third hour. And we're going to be doing some other things with him. So that'll be cool. Then I do the Insiders. Then it's the Savannah Bananas.
You're not going to be able to be completely. Yeah, that is a day. What's Rome like as what can you tell us about a Jim Rome experience?
You know what? I've been a Jim Rome fan like forever. And I did a podcast with him recently. If you've ever been a clone or anything like that, I want to go back and look. There's also been an interesting thing too about wondering if the Pope at one point was a clone, which would make a lot of sense. He's a Chicago guy. He might have been a clone. Who knows? But the thing of it is like Jim is a pretty cool dude. Like I used to meet him. He would do his little tour. He would do his tour stops when he was a local radio guy. And my dad loved going to those. And like, it was always a lot of fun. And it was funny because it was right at that time of my life where my dad had just become a widower. So he was really like, this was like what he did. He, hung out, listened to the radio all the time. And he loved Jim Rome. We'd go to these things. And Jim was always very gracious and very cool. And it's funny because as we go on, we go to the Super Bowl and we see people around. And Jim Rome is probably the only person until recently that I even though I'd met him before and I don't know if starstruck is the right word, but would go, I'm like, I don't want to go bother him. Like I actually, my friend, his son played high school baseball locally, as did Jim's son. And he was at a game one time. And my friend's like, go talk to Jim Rome. Like, you guys are both in the industry. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to go bother Jim Rome at his kid's baseball game. But yeah, but great dude. And I can't wait to go out there and hang out with him.
Well, have fun doing that. What an awesome day. But obviously being on this show was the highlight of the day.
This was the highlight. Yeah, listen, yeah. I told Greg last night because Greg ignored me because now when Greg's not on the show, he's sort of like, whatever. I'm like, hey, and I texted him. Anyway, it was really late last night. I'm like, am I going on tomorrow? Like, what's the deal? It's like, oh yeah, so sorry. And then I'm like, okay, whatever, Greg.
Yeah. He was.
Well, we love having you on, man.
He was staring at Piven pictures. He couldn't get over
That's
it.
Good.
It was quite frankly, it was frightening how he was looking at him yesterday. But Jeremy afterwards, he invited Greg to his show in Chicago next week, June 6th, and said,
"Oh my God, nice!"
So maybe I'm sure Greg will be there.
I can't wait to hear. I want to hear an honest report about that.
Yeah.
Adam, have a great day. Enjoy it.
Piven. Yeah, will do. Thanks, gentlemen.
See you, Adam.
We'll see you
Adam
later.
Rank, as always, will be on the Insiders later on NFL Network as well as Jim Rome. Carm's jealousy is just popping through that screen right now.
Yeah.
Tell me about Jim Rome.
Yeah. I want to be friends with Jim Rome. I want to be Jim Rome. I want to trade my life for lots of people. Jim Rome would be on that list.
The only time I met Jim Rome was in a TSA line. I think maybe coming back from the Super Bowl. It must have been. Yeah. I can't think of any other reason why we'd be in the same place. So it must have been coming home from the Super Bowl. TSA line. He was a nice guy.
I've never been a clone, but he used to, when I worked in Kansas City, before we had a local midday show, Rome was on, so I would listen a bunch, and it was an acquired taste for me.
And yes, Rome and I both roll TSA pre-check. You got it. All right. Apparently, we have no super chats. That's amazing. Well, then I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you about becoming a diehard because we got our sale going on, and it's a great way to end your week. Take advantage of the extra day of the sale. Start of summer intro offer, $36, including a T-shirt of your choice. As always, you sign up, you get a free T-shirt. The cool thing that I didn't even know for a while is when you renew. After a year, you get another shirt. You get a new shirt every single year. and it pretty much pays for the membership to begin with. But on top of all that, you get 20% off all of our merch, all of our events, including we got a golf outing next week. If you still want to sign up, there's limited spots available, and you get $50 off your foursome if you are a diehard there too. So that's coming up next Friday, June 6th, 8 a.m. shotgun start at the Village Links of Glen Ellen. So got a lot of great things, a lot of great reasons to be a diehard. And today, midnight is going to be the deadline on that sale. So get in today. Super chats. I believe one just came in as we end the show. Our guy, Carm's guy, Tizipola, not Pizzatola. It's his cousin Tizipola. $10. Carm is my light, my muse, my motivation to get up in the morning. Without you, I am nothing. Like a cup of coffee. When you're not on the pod, my day feels off. The other two are cool as well.
Tizipola, I love you. Just know that. It's at this point, it's more from liking and appreciation to pure love. And I want to have coffee with you. I want to have cheeseburgers with you. I'd like to share an ice cream cone, maybe even one cone, me and you. I get a lick, you get a lick. Painter's in here today.
Is he painting right behind you?
Live look. I have explained what's going on multiple times.
He must be so confused.
I don't, I'm here to do business. This is amazing. So,
that's fantastic. All right. Well, why don't you get out of his way? That would be great.
Steven, yeah.
Listen, I'm ready to go here too. My wife just came out here on the deck and handed me a nice cold beer. So let's get going.
Okay.
It seems like you and I are about to have two very different days, but I hope you enjoy it. I hope everybody watching the show enjoys it.
Hey, get the job done. Get the football when it's on the ground. That's what's going on over here today.
Ball. That's fantastic. Thanks for watching all week long. We'll be back on Monday. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We got always have some surprises that come out on the weekend as well. And hit the like button too for this outstanding show with Matt Verderame and Adam Rank. Tell the painter I say hi. Looks like he's going to do fantastic work for you. We'll talk to you on Monday. Thanks to Steven producing as well. Monday noon, we'll be back. We'll talk to you then.
We all silly like the mayor.